Because we actually get 40,000. I just want to make clear, so let's say now we have the old constellation, how it was proposed, but now it is 20% left. So what I can see that around 6,080. So this is yeah.
20% will be paid off.
No, that's the so much for 1 million. Then we got 800. Yeah, we was this reduction of 50% under the
what we decide is relatively not required to stand for.
So the grant agreement is with the right
Yes.
Right. Yes.
But in this, okay, this is what I would like to have with the right amount. Because
So
this is employment. With the new amount, Victoria has the new amount.
Yes, I would like to have ABC and I have this the Excel document that they have sent, and it is right.
When go to the other four partners, I don't know what.
No, the thing is that when it comes to the four partners, it is the new amount of right.
Okay, so this is
but here for the calculation for each partner, how much we get, I just have this, which is the old amount. So it's H. This is what I was saying. We could, first of all, I do not know whether do we need to follow this with the internet, exactly now. So yeah, what I'm going to meet
we don't need
for report.
We don't need this.
So it's like generally other next one where we also write the report at the end. We don't think it would miss any bills or contract.
We don't for the no. That's all. This is lump sum of the volunteers, you want to hire volunteers for the possibility to have some third country. Let's say for job research or whatever. Yeah. So that basically they yeah, and the salary they don't have to be in this mistaken application because type 1, type 2 they doesn't mean anything. I should have written there in the application what is type 1 and what is type 2. So it doesn't mean
I totally that's okay. Bigger type 3 will be the project topic, so they will
but there is nothing in the Victoria has it.
Okay, I need to check all the documents and maybe I will ask Victoria. What's the plan? I don't have a computer, so I don't have the new program. So there is
first.
What is the reduction? So you can show this table and send it to us. I mean, I wouldn't do it. So what we're gonna have to do differently, and then
I didn't take my computer for the. I can hear the director from the lecture hall. So this is
yes.
okay.
But the budget is mentioned.
And then the photo application. Okay, so
let's start with the
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we are about to start the actually third year of your visit, the second year of the second day of our kickoff meeting. Today we have mostly the presentations from the guests who are online. Unfortunately, not being with us in Olomouc, but to see you in person and some other places. My name is Ende Hamulagan from Palatsky University here from Czech Republic. We have some colleagues here from Poland, Slovenia, Estonia, definitely. There's some colleagues of Turkey, Turkey. The colleagues are here. The plan is that there will be this short presentations of the main focus of your research and your departments. We'll start with Federico. Then after about 15-20 minutes, there will be a space for Benedetta, and the last will be Ilse. So this is the program for the starting of the day program. Then on the program, we have also the discussion or information about the budget afterwards. And after coffee breaks, which we will have here with the coffee, you can have your own coffee at your offices and homes. There will be the last part of our meeting, because we slightly changed the program because the numbers of people are now reducing, some are departing. Just after the coffee break, we'll speak about the possible further future applications for different calls, for another project possibility. And then we will just finish our meeting, having the lunch. And that's all. It's for first kickoff meeting. So thank you for having you all here present and also online. And now I'm just giving a floor to Federico on his 15-20 minutes according to his voice. Yeah, you can use the full time.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I was planning to start my presentation singing some opera, but I'm afraid that this is not going to happen because my voice is not yet as it should. But first of all, I apologize for not being in presence, but I am hosting an event myself here in Bologna, and it starts from lunchtime, so I will be off at lunchtime, and I look forward to seeing you in person very soon in the next meetings. I understand, yeah, to discuss a little bit about myself and what we do. I started as a practicing lawyer and then moved to academia in the area of financial law, and in particular, technologies and data applied to finance. So this is something that was on the ground, and we started researching it already 25 years ago when no one was speaking about artificial intelligence, about all this data madness or whatever. But in finance has always been ahead in this kind of technology. So this has led me then to develop and then to have an interest in digitalization and the digital domain up to today. So let's start from today. I don't want to be verbose. So today I'm the director of the Jean Monnet Center of Excellence on Consumers and SMEs in the digital single market, and chair, Jean Monnet chair, again, in the digital market law. So this already tells you broadly what I am doing, and in particular, having developed as a consumer lawyer over time, I particularly looked from the side of the user of digital services and all what I would say data law. I'm not saying data protection law, because data law, as you may be well aware of, is broader than data protection. So data law is a particular interest. So From the user perspective, these days, I'm very much concerned with understanding who is the user of the financial services addressed by the law, what sort of user, being consumer, SMEs, whatever. So how does it, is it being defined, or we can identify the user in the law, and how this is protected at policy level first, and then has it been transported at the regulatory level. This is the current stream of research, but as I mentioned, it is broader than that. Data law, as I said, is a particular area. Not only the GDPR and all the problems tied with the data protection legislation, not only from an internal perspective, but I'm also looking from the relationship between the EU and outside the EU, and how all this legislation we have is impacting, or is what is the relationship between our law and what is going on in other areas of the world, especially in a market that we all know is far from having borders. But as I said, data law, because now, for instance, the Data Act is of particular interest for me. I'm very much interested also in the whole intellectual property aspects relating to data, or the use of data, or how data, well, are transformed or whatever. So about the department and the team, as chair, I'm working with actually not colleagues from my own university, but from colleagues from the University of Milan. So although I am the chair, so they are team members, but we are working together in this partnership. By contrast, the Center of Excellence is within the department, where we gather competences from economics and sociology. We are not in the law department, so we are the Department of Sociology and Economic Law. Sorry. And so these days is a bit interesting to coordinate the two projects. Now we add this one. This makes, I think, a very nice fit, especially since I will be able to liaise with you and your expertise and what you are doing. I listened what you are doing yesterday, and I think it's a very nice fit what David created in this network. What else? What else can I tell you? About the work maybe with the European Commission. I've been a member of the Financial Services User Group advising on financial services to the European Commission, but since my interest moved on a broader area than finance, I now am in the CPAG, the Consumer Policy Advisory Group, together with consumer associations. So we try to provide policy and regulatory advices to the European Commission when it comes to the perspective of consumers. In this, it is consumers, so consumer policy. So there are monthly meetings depending on the subgroups we are in. Anyway, and well, we try to offer this perspective, and the digitalization and the digital market are a very big part of consumer policy these days, since this is a new area. So I don't know if there's anything else I can tell you about in this preliminary, at this preliminary stage. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to come back to you. So anything you may want to ask?
No, I think everything is clear.
Yeah. I think
Thank you for your efforts. Speaking, feeling sick, and we will. I mean, we keep in contact. We will send you all the partners. I mean, to everybody, the partners that are here and you that are online. We will send you the link with all the records of the meeting. Okay, so we can overcheck. We are saving the meeting. We can check the expertise of each one in order if we want to collaborate or find something. So thank you, Federico.
Thank you.
So thank you, and there are no other questions, so maybe we can just move to Benedetta and to focus on her expertise and yeah, continue just in the program as it was said. So yeah, Benedetta, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, can you hear me well? Because I had some connection issues and I want to double check whether you can hear me.
Yeah, now we can hear you and see you perfectly. It's working.
Okay, thank you very much. And apologies for not being there. I'm very sorry about that. But I'm happy to be able to join at least for part of today's meeting, even though online. So I'm a philosopher by training, more specifically a moral philosopher based at the University of Macerata in Italy. Currently, I'm a full professor of ethics at Macerata indeed, and also I'm a regular visiting professor at Tufts University in the US. And at the University of Macerata, I hold a Jean Monnet Chair, Ethics for Inclusive Digital Europe, which I think might be the main area of intertwining and cooperation with these project, for which I thank David very, very much for involving me. It's really exciting to be here, and I think this is going to be a wonderful project. I have been mainly focusing in my teaching and research and public engagement activities in the first phase of my career, let's say, with issues that have to do with public ethics, business ethics, issues like corporate social responsibility, social innovation from an ethical perspective, mainly also focusing on social justice, both at the national and at the international level. So mainly dealing with issues of ethics and global justice. And then in the last years, let's say 5-6 years or so, I have been focusing more and more on digital ethics and ethics of artificial intelligence. And the reason why I made this shift is because coming from studies on the philosophy of social justice, so theories of justice, I came to be more and more persuaded that social justice in nowadays societies is more and more shaped or impacted by or even transformed by digital technologies. And so I started to really make an inquiry into the digital transformation from the ethical perspective to see whether and how digital technologies not only might, but also ought to work for the sake of social justice, and at the same time trying to focus on the different forms of inequality or injustice that they might either bring about or contribute not to eradicate. So trying to focusing on issues like not only bias from the technical point of view, so unbiased artificial intelligence, but also trying to see how artificial intelligence might be non-discriminatory, and might also foster more a broader inclusion in our society, and might foster a more equal society. So that's the way that kind of led me to sort of transition from social justice, just let's say in the domain of theories of justice, and so public ethics and also economic and social ethics, to digital ethics and ethics of artificial intelligence. I'm still keeping the other interest. I'm still involved in social justice, in the other, let's say, meaning, but I'm also more and more devoted to the AI ethics part of it. And this is why, or let's say, this is what is mainly the core of the Jean Monnet Chair I'm holding, so Ethics for an Inclusive Digital Europe. So maybe I could tell you a little bit more about the chair or the topics that might intersect with this project that we are also developing thanks to the activities of the chair, because let's say the chair is aimed at designing and mainstreaming a human-centered approach to AI, so an ethically oriented approach to AI that has the further goal of fostering sustainable growth, civic engagement and social inclusion in Europe and beyond, because of course one of the issues we are investigating is also what is the role. Oh, sorry, it's a telephone. Okay, what is the role of the EU at the global level as a global actor in fostering an ethically oriented strategy to AI? And so, thanks to the chair, we are on the one side focusing on different areas of teaching in the field of ethics and artificial intelligence, always stressing the importance of EU values and principles. Then we are also organizing a lot of activities that seek to provide society at large with a better knowledge and a better awareness of the ethical issues that are raised by AI. And then last but not least, we aim at generating knowledge and insights that can support the EU policy making and also fostering a global dialogue between Europe and other countries worldwide on ethics and digital technologies. That's also the reason why in the chair, there's a strong involvement of, let's say, three kinds of people, let's say. So one kind, let's say, is the interdisciplinary team that we established at the University of Macerata, which is mainly made of ethicists, computer scientists, and legal scholars. So we tend to work in a strongly interconnected and interdisciplinary way on these topics. Then the second bunch of people is the people coming from EU. So we have scholars based in other European universities, like for example, KU Leuven, that are also participating in the activities of the chair to try to strengthen this dialogue within Europe on EU values for AI. And then the third bunch of people is people coming from other countries. And here we have, as members of the chair, people that come from Canada, like Toronto University, and also people that come from the US, mainly from Harvard and from MIT, that are also engaged in the chair. I don't think it might be, let's say, interesting to get, let's say, more insights into the specific activities, but let's say that what we're really focusing on is to try span on the different areas of impact that ethical values and principles might and should have on digital technology. So let's say that the common a line of interest that connects all our activities is the attempt to prompt and to widespread an ethical approach to AI that can also be defined as a human AI for social good. So starting, of course, from the EU strategy on trustworthy and human-centered artificial intelligence, now, of course, taking into account what we can gain from the AI Act, but trying to go beyond the legal aspect, of course, in dialogue with it, and trying to foster on the values and principles, always through this human-centered perspective, for the sake of each and every individual, every person as an individual, but also for the benefit of society as a whole. So I think I can stop it here, but of course, I'm happy after the presentations if you think to engage in dialogue with you. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Benedetta. I think it's not that the project is a mission you have in your chair. It's just really something like a new demand, social.
Yeah. A moral philosopher always have a mission.
Yeah, definitely. But everything is really exciting, and it's very valuable for the whole network, given the practical things of the engagement and also the moral philosophical basis and the social justice are searching for it. It's something we can have in all the fields we are involved, lawyers, political scientists, the media experts, the social justice is all about. And actually, it's taken and the risk by the emerging technologies and transformation. So yeah, good to have you in our team.
Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, and now, if you allow, I will just give the floor to Ilse.
Yes, just to make just one small comment, as was speaking a little with Benedetta. Most likely, we will have a meeting in Macerata in October 2025. Okay, but we have to speak about the details and everything still, but this is the original plan. So thank you for hosting us in October.
Very happy to do that.
Okay. Thank you. So, and now, sorry, yes, we can have Ilse, please. Thank you.
Yes, hello, good morning. I'm speaking to you from Stockholm, where I currently work, and I'm actually from Latvia. My host university is Riga Graduate School of Law, and I'm very happy that actually we were contacted and invited to be part of this network. I think that the variety of researchers and Jean Monnet chairs is really a merit of this project with this network. So before my presentation, I was wondering what kind of merit I could bring along. And let's possibly start by presenting the university that I represent. So Riga Graduate School of Law was established 25 years ago. And at that time, it was established actually as a grant from Sweden to the Baltic states in our transition. And the idea was that this Riga Graduate School of Law will be a hub for educating civil servants and lawyers, both for the Baltic states, but also for EU institutions. So with this mandate, the school has developed, and currently it is one of the leading universities in law in the Baltic states. What is, I think, interesting and is very central that all programs and all papers are published in English. So the teaching language is English. And I know that we are fighting also with our local the Ministry of Education, because it is one of few exceptions where all programs and the whole university is actually in English, including internal communication of the staff. So this is one of the merits also for the project, because there is no language barrier whenever we reach out to professors. And I started affiliating with Riga Graduate School of Law after graduating my PhD in 2009. And my PhD is in political science. I'm a political scientist, I'm not a lawyer. But my topic of thesis was the negotiations in the EU Council, the coalition building between the member states on different dossiers, including internal market dossiers. So my competence, I would say, is institutions. I have worked myself as part of the council. I have been working and half of year actually leading the work of Latvian council presidency. And my specific focus is European external action. And now I come to my second hat, which brings me to my location in Stockholm now. And I think also here I can bring some strengths along because since 1996, I'm a member of Latvian Diplomatic Service. And when I took my PhD, it was kind of a gap period of 4 years in mid of my diplomatic career. So for 22 years, I've been aligned and my daily work is I'm diplomat of Latvia's foreign service, and currently I'm Latvia's ambassador to Sweden. So which keeps me very busy. This week, Sweden will host prime ministers, and of course, I could not travel away. But at the same time, I think I can bring also along hands-on competence on external relations and external action. So as Jean Monnet Chair, so how do I combine? After graduating my PhD in Salzburg, I've been constantly giving courses. I just, live 2 lives, I would say so. And I'm somehow managing to teach 90 hours a year, just taking trips to Latvia or teaching online. And my Jean Monnet Chair was focused on EU decision-making, on EU law, on European external actions in field of both in crisis, but also geopolitical tensions. I think what is interesting to mention that Riga Graduate School of Law had reached out to neighboring regions. So there is advanced program, short-term program where Graduate School of Law is actually inviting civil servants for training from Georgia, Moldova, Ukraine, Central Asia, and Western Balkans. And I've been actually taking this on as a Jean Monnet Chair as specifically my competence. So the Jean Monnet chairmanship will end for Graduate School of Law. So it has been 3 years. In October, it will expire. And therefore, I'm very glad to be aligned with you. So this is kind of building up the next step. And let's see how can we work together. I think I can be helpful also. I have been thinking, okay, where do I get digital context in my background, and I still find a lot of this in teaching on, for example, strategic communication, teaching on disinformation, how the open sources, media freedom, to one hand, with the values of the EU that EU brings along, is contradicting with, for example, external state actors using it against countries. And we see this evidence happening, including where I'm working now in Sweden, also with respect to the NATO application. So I will stop here, but I'm very happy to work closely with you. And if I'm going to host something, this will not be in Stockholm, but this will then be in Riga. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. It was, also the expertise in the external relations is very valid and very broad for the project. This, the digital transformation is a global problem, and there are the direct relations, the data sharing agreements between US and the European Union, ongoing Brussels effect. It's everything connected to also external action and external relations of the European Union. I think that there is not even need to find something digital in your expertise, because your expertise is very broad for the network as your let's say major external action questions. So thank you very much. Glad to have you in the network too. And now I'm giving floor maybe to David, because the next part is about more technical questions.
Yeah, now Victoria will present us the budget rules. It's very basic, so it will not take much long time. And after I will speak about the different ideas we have for project applications. So,
yeah.
Victoria.
We'll connect with my computer.
One question, the Portuguese Maria, or what the name is Maria?
I was checking on.
Yeah, no, I sent her. I sent.
Yeah, I saw it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I sent an email, no reply.
Okay.
And so I was thinking the same that she was asking for, and it's.
Yeah, is it working, Victoria? There are two links, there are separate links for first and second day. Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Okay.
No, I'm the only one who's making PowerPoint presentations, but I'm not as far from graduating, so I'm used to. So basically, it's so it's a lump sum. So it's like getting a fixed amount of money for a specific project without needing to prove every expense. It's simpler because you don't have to show receipts for everything that you spend. So action grant goes for the fact that it's given for one particular action or the project. So it's just a formality. So the grant is 800,000 euros. And the distribution of lump sum within a grant agreement can vary, but in our particular case, it's 70% of a lump sum that has been already paid to the grant recipient, and the other 30 will be paid by the end of the project. So this presentation I will send by the end of our meeting to everyone. So here is, I'm already using the mouse, but it's not from there. So you can go here. I believe everyone has this access to this document, and I'm not sharing my screen right now.
Yeah, if you join the portal, yeah. In the grant agreement is this document with the budget, so it's accessible for all the partners.
So I will just try to share this part of my screen as well, so you can see it. New demonstration. Yes, right. So here in the beginning, you have so work packages and here beneficiaries list. So every partner has its number here on the left, and on the bottom part, you see all of these numbers, and it actually represents the partner here. So as we realized not so long ago, these sums are not updated with the So we had a proposed budget and we have the real budget, and it differs by 1,000. So I think I will have to remake it. But since it's a lump sum, it's not something that is really, that it doesn't really represent the factual numbers. It should be more or less the same, but it's not fixed. So this is something that I will change within a few days, basically, and we'll send this, not this document, but I will make another Excel. So here are the amounts that are gonna be paid for every work package, and by the end, there is the amount of the whole amount that is gonna be paid to the partner. And I'm gonna go back to my presentation to show you not only numbers, but also the visual. So basically we were here, and the next is, yes, there was this type 1, type 2 for the direct personnel cost, which actually represents the senior researcher and the young researcher. And the third option is volunteers.
Yeah, as Sandra said before, volunteers makes not much sense, because if they're volunteer, why they get paid? But it's part of the application.
Yeah. But there's a lump sum, so we can even distribute it differently.
Exactly.
One direct personal cost. So,
so direct personal cost can be distributed as basically as you wish.
Yeah.
All the partners. Okay, so type 1, type 2, as it is in the application, I made a mistake myself when I was doing the application, because you had to write what you mean by type 1 and type 2. And I didn't write anything. I just left it type 1, type 2. That does not mean absolutely anything. Okay, so what was in my mind was senior researcher and young researcher, but this is not in the application, and this is not in the grant agreement either. Okay, so we are flexible in which kind of direct cost you are going to use. Okay.
So, and it's much easier if it is represented in smaller numbers. So each partner has a lump sum that is 40,000 for 3 years. So there are working groups, and there are other partners. So working groups receive 71,700 euros, and this is also divided into payments. So one was all already received, as I understand, yes, and the other part will be paid by the end of the project. And the Taltech, as a coordinator, receives the 300,000 euros. So what's covered? The transportation, accommodation, and daily allowance. So it's 50 euros per day.
This 50 euros per day is our internal rule in Taltech, so that's why I put it in the application. But anyway, each one of you will have a different amount according to your university rules. Each one of you use your own amount. Okay, so this is just an indication based on what is in Taltech daily allowance permission.
So there can also be an indirect or other costs. So it's also covered by the lump sum. So indirect costs can be around 7%, which is 3,000 euros of indirect costs. In case of any other unforeseeable costs, you can contact me. Yeah. And that's basically it.
So as you see, it's very simple thing. The budget lump sums makes us very flexible, very simple. Direct cost, travel cost. That's it. Indirect cost, 7%. We can move a little from each one, but I don't recommend you to spend all in direct cost and nothing in traveling cost. Okay, or the other way around. But we are flexible. I insist on that. Okay.
Yeah. I have two questions here. Yeah. One is also related to our actually present today's meeting, or this meeting we have. Because if there are personal costs and the travel costs, what are the costs which are a local cost for the organizer of the event? Wrocław is going to organize something like Cerata,
So, for example, the meals, and this is this we need to pay from indirect, the 7%, or we can put it to travel costs, even though it's not traveling because we stay here along with partner. We just had some catering and the restaurant, and then paying your accommodation also. Once we will get to it somehow over the problem.
This you can put it all in travel cost, 100% sure. Travel costs, you can put it. So no problem at all, because in travel costs is included the attendance to conferences, meetings, and any event related with the activity of the network.
Yeah, so also for the local expenses. So because this 7% is good, but it's
but it's better to keep it just in case.
We keep it, and also now we have not so big expenses because some of the people are online, but if, for example, to 30 people will come or something, so how to cover it from it's from travel.
Yeah, but in the case of Macerata and Poland, Tallinn will cover the expenditures.
Okay.
Because they are not responsible of any work packages, so the amount of the budget is smaller than the rest. So we, from Tallinn, that we have bigger share, we bear these expenditures.
And the second question is, even in this project, it's all Jamonet project, there is also co-financing or not? Isn't there co-financing by the institutions participating?
It's supposed that the co-financing is supposed that the project should be 1 million, and we got the 800,000, so it's 20% co-financing, but it's not included in the budget.
Yeah, not in the real budget, but the question is something we will lately report. Even lump sum was reported, and in this project, according to Jamonet rules, we are definitely under the rules of the financial audits. Because it's big project, so there will be at the end a financial audit. So the question is whether we need to record at least somehow this 20%. To at the end to say to the commission the project costs 1 million. To prove this institutional co-financing.
I know exactly what you mean. I don't know myself, and I will contact Begoña, the project officer. My idea, but it's not 100% sure. My idea was that we cover this 20% with infrastructure cost. So basically, the rental of rooms, for example. So that's our own contribution. We are providing. You are providing us, for example, this space, this cost money. Okay, so to put this as our your contribution, this extra 20%. But I insist. I already asked Begoña, the project officer, she's consulting it, and she will let me know if it is possible. But I also want to make it clear, because in the grant agreement it's just 800,000. But in the original application, it's like 1 million, including 20% of co-financing. So I don't have it clear myself. The project officer in Brussels does not have it clear still. This is already asked, and we will know, I hope soon, and then you will know all of us. As soon as I get the information, I will share it with Logic. But anyway, good point, because I forgot to mention it, and I was also concerned about it. Thank you.
Regarding audits, do we as partners have, is it basically your responsibility to prepare, this the documentation? Are we also expected to have like more substantial outputs for the audits? Because this is something that I will have to coordinate with our administration.
I think that in Jamonet's networks or multi-level research groups. So whenever there is more than one institution included, there is always a coordinator institution. So here it's Taltech. So Taltech was responsible for audit. So there will be only one audit of the whole project. And then maybe what you will need, but it will be the reporting for parts of the end of the project, maybe just the proof of the costs. Even though it's lump sum, there must be some kind of proof, like from our university, something like the papers released from our university accountants that this money were used for this project. Not how they were used, but they were used for this project.
And we will not need from you all the invoices or details, but papers and where the money has been spent. And if you have to keep all the other papers, then if we get a review of the project, we have to we will ask you as coordinators, we will ask you to send all these detailed expenditures.
Yeah,
but for the report, we just need the papers in how it has been spent the money.
Yeah, that's perfectly because these documents are usually stored locally by our administration, and each year then we can generate like each year, and at the end of the project financing period, we can generate exactly the table that specifies the major categories when certain expenses have been made. Okay, this will be generated in Polish, but we can translate it into English. And I guess this would be something that you would need for the audit. Yeah, okay, so that's.
Nicholas, you are raising the hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I may not have understood properly. So, do you confirm that from those receiving lump sums, there are no reporting duties? And related to...
There are reporting duties in the sense that we, Victoria and me, the coordinators in the project, we have to present this report to the European Commission at the end of the project. But what
you have reporting duties.
Yeah, we as coordinators have to report it. You don't have to make the report, but I will need from you a paper saying where the money has been spent, a paper from the university. I will not need from you all the invoices, details, and so on, but I will need a paper saying where the have been spent. And you have to keep all the invoices, like everybody, and in case European Commission asks for them. But I don't think they will ask. Normally they don't, but we have to keep it just in case. Okay?
So it is any expense that is related to this area of research, correct? And then the following question is, so what about the unspent money? Are we returning what we do not spend?
Unspent money has to be returned, 100% sure.
Okay. So what I said is we can spend on any research activity that is related to this area of research, correct?
Yeah, any activity that is related with the network, yeah. Research. Okay. It's a research project, so yeah.
So if we go to a conference on digital whatever, we can use this money to say we've been to this conference. Although the network was not the organizing.
They can be included. But then you have to say that you are representing the network in this meeting.
Okay. Then we need the inputs, like exactly.
Also using the logo, which will be created, and this dedication sentence, dedication line. It's of course on behalf of the projects. So it's something that must be proven. I suppose that the European Commission will really stay on it, or will follow it. The expenses were on behalf of the project. So you can use it freely, but representing the network.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but can I make another example? If we have to employ a postdoc.
Yeah, no problem at all. You can use the money that you have been assigned in the project for hiring a postdoc. That he's going to do research on the topics related with the network. Perfect, no problem at all.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah,
yes, if I could, actually, partly you also answered the question, but I also wanted to understand as an institution like university, possibly not me personally travels to conference, but my the person whom I supervise goes there. Is it fine if not the family name of the network holder chair uses this, not but so the university, but not the person?
I don't understand the question.
So it's a team member.
Yeah, team member, of course. Also,
I'm working in team. I'm working in an academic research team with my colleague. So not me, but my colleague is going to conference. Is it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you.
We have, for example, in Tallinn, we have 5 people. So these 5 people, they will be going to conferences. They will be covered the expenditures with our share of the project.
Everything is clear. Thank you.
But I insist that there is some kind of notice that is doing something for the network. So it doesn't have to be like a big sign like a yoo-hoo, but something, okay, that we can prove that Can you link with the network activity?
Okay, Benedetta was the first. Sorry, Federico.
Oh, thank you. No, I have two questions. The first one, I don't know if I missed it. In that case, apologies for that. But I was wondering if we can have some detailed guidelines on the budget. So what is admissible, what we have to report, because it's going to be useful. So that's the first question. And then the second, I'm not sure if I got it right. So it's not like a lump sum, but we have to report the expenses we do to you.
I mean, it's what we are speaking about. It's a lump sum. I will not need your all your invoices, but I will need a paper for the final report explaining how you have been spending the money.
The final, no, I didn't get that. Sorry. No, because that's what I was thinking, that the commission is going to check on, let's say, whether we have performed the activities we committed to do.
No,
so that's enough.
The activities related with the commission is based on the delivery plan that is in the portal, that each responsible of each working group is going to prepare this delivery. So it's nothing related with the budget, as we are a research project. So basically what is expected from all the partners is to do this research, and the responsibles of the working groups are the one in charge of the deliveries, okay?
So
it does not
send...
affect you at all, the deliveries. You just have to research. It does not affect you at all, the delivery plan, okay?
Yes, and also if you can provide us with some guidelines on the budget, I think this would be helpful.
Just two things. Direct cost, so basically employment, and the expenditures on the traveling and accommodation and so on. Yeah. This is the two charters we have. Very simple.
And I will update it and we'll send it after the meeting.
Okay, so there is no, then we have the 7% of indirect cost, that this will be like different, but the rest is simple. Direct cost, travel expenses, that's it. Very, very simple. So I think we will not have I hope nobody of us will have any problem with that, because it's super simple, okay?
But it's not possible.
Thank you.
To fund like open source publications or something like that to connect it to
open source.
Access, yeah, to pay for. Let's say if I publish something, if I pay a fee, it's not possible to do it from this money.
In Cluster stocks, maybe this could be a consumables.
I think in the agreements, you have application costs.
Yeah.
That would be very nice.
Yeah, it is included in the publication cost, yeah.
Because you are responsible for the proofreading, so these costs are somehow envisaged, and all publication costs, whether in the agreements, so
publishing of books and
Federico.
Sorry again for this. First of all, I would like to back what Benedetta has said, that it would be very important to know what the direct costs are. And I understand what you say, David, but to know what is eligible and what is not eligible would really make a difference in my view. And then we have to deal also, probably, also you, with internal university rules. For example, I have probably to do an internal timesheet reporting, So I was wondering, do we have a cap, a yearly cap on the hours we dedicate to the network? Because this is what happens in other projects. Especially for the Center of Excellence, for example, where you have to do the reporting differently from the chair. We have to do the timesheet, how many hours we spend, but we have a cap in the application. So I was wondering, because then, when it comes to the final math, the administration start putting costs on the time, which is fine, because usually we spend far more time than that is in the reporting. So usually it's fine. But so I was wondering, in this project, what about timesheets and the personnel costs? So my own costs, for instance.
Yeah, your personal cost will be included in this direct cost. Basically,
Is there a cap?
No. You have your amount of money, and you have to dedicate it according to basically the main guidelines that we have in the document that Victoria will share with you. And there you also have the hours, but this is an indication. So basically, it means that we can bend that. It's not a fixed thing. But in the document that is included in the application that you can access in the portal of the budget is included the hours, the price per hour, but the price per hour is different in each country. So when we made the application, it's an indication. So in that sense is why I say we are flexible with that. But flexible doesn't mean that you can check the document, Victoria will send it to you, check that the part of your beneficiary number, that you have the amount of money, direct cost, with the amount of hours. How to prove that? We are speaking about the research project and insist on that. So how you prove you have been at home researching or not? It's not that you have to prove that you have been teaching a fixed amount of hours. Okay, so you just have to mention, yes, I have been making the research. That's it. Yeah, I think I have answered you, Federico, but it will be more clear when you have.
Yeah, it's fine. I just want to insist on what Benedetta said. It would be important to know what we can say. Yes, that's fine. That's not fine. Because, for instance, equipment? I'm traveling for this network. I need an iPad. I won't need it, but I'm just making it as an example. So we need to have guidelines of what these direct costs are.
Hiring researchers or paying for the researchers. This is the main cost.
Okay. Yeah, but I personally don't want to be too creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't be too creative. I mean, like.
No, so I need guidelines, I think.
Okay, so we will send you. Will be direct cost, hiring people, and the traveling cost. These are the two things that are included in the budget of the project. Plus the 7% of the money that we're going to spend according to the new necessities or something like that we cannot foresee right now. Okay, so guidelines. Direct cost means employment cost. It's not included equipment. Okay, you cannot buy an iPod. I know that you don't want it, but you cannot with this money of the project. And the expenditure traveling that can be coming to the meetings of the network, can be going to any conference that somehow is related with the network or the topic of the network. Okay, so the expenditures of any member of your team from Bologna that is going to do any activity for the network, and so on and so on. And then we have this publication cost that is also included in the contract that I sent to all of you. So that basically you have to any publication cost, you can include it in the project, in the budget that you have been assigned. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay, I wanted to avoid those situations like American lawyers do. Like, I have thought about the case under the shower, so I charge you.
Yeah. And it's better that you mention it, that we don't have any problem. No, thank you, Federico.
Okay, thank you.
I think we'll all do simple. It's personal cost, travel cost,
yeah.
And then additional and direct cost up to 7%, just for some other special thing. Maybe like services, maybe some, I don't know. I think either small equipment could be in the 7% if it's related to the project implementation, because it's indirect cost. So there is no. Yeah,
in this case it will be in the, but not in the direct cost.
Because I don't like the Apple. But,
yeah, I don't like Apple either. So
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, but this is what means indirect cost, that we don't know what this.
For example, what I was thinking is that because we are in a very broad network with a lot of areas of expertise. One of these direct material costs I was thinking is really to buy some books to our library on the things not covered yet. Really about maybe even according to recommendations, something from philosophy, moral ethics, from the financial, something from the, so really to enrich
And not only for the group of people who are here, but also for further studies. So really buying of books is something I will maybe use the 7% most. So to enrich the library. That's the thing. Not buying computers for team members.
You can buy the books of that the members of the network have written.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there's a network library or something. So put them together and we'll do something like the network shelf in our library. Just so.
Oh, but this is also important because this is part, like of dissemination, and there will be more citations. We are actively involved in promoting the, publication output of other partners. So.
Yeah. Good. The only note on Federico, I would not go centrally or on a network-wise level to personal sheets, time sheets. So if this will be required by the universities, it's a rule we need to follow it. But I will not. I really plead against it to have it generally in the project, because already I'm filling the time sheets for another 4 projects. It's a crazy thing. So, and I think that on our faculty we will not be required to have these timesheets, but also, not
the Taltech either. We don't need to have the for this lump sum project. We don't need to.
Maybe to Benedetta, I just wanted to say, in Olomouc, here in Czech Republic, we will have. This is an example of this. Let's say reporting. We will put all the money which we received as the partner to a special let's say, so it will not be messed or mixed with our faculty budget, but there is a separate, we call it number, or separate budget number. And on this number is like accounts, all the incomes, so the payment from commission and all the expenses will be seen. And then at the end of the year, we will just print it, because it's the system. So even every expense we already have. Yesterday dinner we have here, it's there as an expense. So we will see there are the plus minuses in the project in the year. And this is something I will then send to David, and David will see, okay, out of this contribution to the Olomouc, this money were used for personal costs, this money were used for travel, it will be everything there. Maybe we just need it the same like Polish colleagues, maybe just to translate it to English, because system is run in Czech language. But this is, I think, the record. And this was, in my experience with the network, because we were coordinating a network, and we are finalizing the network. Actually, this October is the one project which we had here in Olomouc. It was the same. We, as a coordinator, we asked the partners, Heidelberg and Bratislava and the others, just to send us the one list of, let's say, it's like an accountancy list of the how the money were used. So not the invoices, not the concrete, let's say, subcontracting, but really the list. You have 30,000 euros. You use 20 for wages, for the remuneration, 10 for traveling, and that's it. And then we received this as a network coordinator, and our task was much more, and still is, because the report must be sent till the end of October. So a lot of people are working on it to report everything to the commission, even to secure the audit and all that stuff as a coordinator. So it's very simple, like 3 years, 3 paper, because all these papers are issued at the end of the budgetary year on the university life. So it will be very simple on our side. It will be followed maybe on our way. So just have this money on a separate account, and then you see all the pluses, minuses in the project, and this is something we will send to David. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see you very convinced.
Yeah. Okay. Every university has a different rules, so yeah. But make it simple. It's fine.
Yeah, as simple as possible, please, and we will make the report in Taltech. I will need this information from you of the basic. Paper saying that this money has been spent on this, then the big chapters. I don't need the whole details on names of the people involved and but salaries, for example, this. I mean, as Sondrek explained before. Any other questions? Money. It's always problematic.
More than the money, problematic is the people I have to deal with here in Bologna.
Yeah.
That's the case. I mean, as we said, our local rules at the university are more complex than, you know, the EU expectations of the framework. So.
Yeah, and there are rules and then habits. That's the thing. So the people who are working on this economy, economy departments, they are used to something, and it's always something different. It's great to explain, but yeah, I think we will overcome it.
But I say it again, I am sorry, I will be a pain because of the people and the bureaucracies we have here. But so I anticipate being a pain. I apologize in advance. Bear with me. I'm sorry.
No, no problem at all. Thank you, really, Federico. Better now than after.
Yeah, I also consult with my project coordinator at the faculty, and I think it's better to have questions if there will be any now at the beginning,
better now than
to determine the pattern. So if she will have any questions of more detailed nature, we'll contact.
Yeah, any questions, anybody, more detailed things, just write Victoria. She will be answering you.
Yeah, yeah. I think that Benedetta and also Federico were asking about something like the red lines, not the guidelines, but also the red lines, and then it will make it clear what's the cost or if we, I think then we can do it even ad hoc or separate, not separately, but all the others. If there will be some problematic cost or something we are debating, then we can even send all this list of questions to you, bother you, and then we can even ask the coordinator and the commission
exactly.
If there's something will be a problem.
Yeah, we are. I think we are lucky with the coordinator we had in Brussels. I said it yesterday. It seems very cooperative person. So there are many things that not me, not Victoria will ever. I mean, we cannot know everything, but we have this coordinator. Just write. We write to the coordinator. We transmit you the answer of the coordinator. Okay. So I think that's it about the budget.
Yeah, if there are no other questions, we are about to have a short coffee break before moving to the last part of our meeting here in Olomouc. It will be the debate discussion about the possible future calls, project possibilities, which David prepared. So I think this is the last session we will have before lunch. But according to your program, the refresh program, now we will have a short break.
Yeah.
And then Benedetta and Federico. But Federico is going to have, I think, some other meeting, he said. So
yeah, you had a meeting with professor from Israel, no?
Yes, Amnon Richmond, I don't know if you know him. In fact, it's a mess because he's coming from the States, but he has to go back to Israel. And
yeah, that's why I was asking with what is going on now. Is like, well,
yes, we don't know if he'll be able to go back home or how he will go back home.
Okay.
Or when, at least. He will go, but we don't know when.
Okay, anyway, thank you very much to all of you. We will have just this coffee break now, and then we will discuss for a short while about the project applications. That basically my idea was to speak about 3 project applications I have in mind to use the network for the future, because I think what is more difficult is to create a good team. We already have a good team in the application of this network. The best comments were about the team. So we have to use it, in my opinion, for further things. But anyway, let's have the coffee and after we speak about it. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
No, it's clear. Okay, now it's clear. I was never confused, you know, because of this.
But and then what I see, there will be things that we don't know. I mean, I'm doing many things also.
Said I have to go in the next days to our project office, and for sure they will have some very detailed bureaucratic questions that me as a professor don't really think very important, but they will want to know. So
yeah. And like we have the expertise of Fondos also, because he was coordinating a network.
But I'm just doing the report on Jean Monnet, my module. I just finished the project, so I have to report by the end of October.
Yeah.
You just kind of
Making a
yes,
report
that's it. Yes, with no, so yeah, I hope it will be similar.
It's very similar. Some projects are this for IC.
Just the only others. We have the originally because of the original program, the land was planned for. Okay. 130, but because of the change of power program, we can even move it. So we will go for a lunch for 1 p.m. Yeah, so maybe just move it. But there's actually we are all here. Not all here. No. This is nice. Okay. So you can pay only by check crowns. They're in cash. They're not accepting cards.
I don't think it's.
I think 100 will be enough
Yeah.
for one cup.
It's like
€4.
This is €4. Oh, almost 4.5. 4 euros.
I will owe you this.
There we have a strange thing. You can use only the university card or like no bank cards.
It's coming from like
The people that who are coming to university, they are always saying, okay, but he's paying by card. I wanted to pay by card, but it's a different card.
I just don't understand.
We can all the cafeteria run by university are accepting on cash or university cards. No, I don't know.
I don't think that
It's because the companies, the card companies, they charge them.
They charge them and they do not refund.
And they don't want to, it's 3%, I think.
But it's also complicated because the students they have a reduction, because if the student is buying something, the price is different than if we are buying something for the because they have a discount actually it's supported by the state budget. So I think therefore it's a problem because if in this case, for example, something will cost 100 crowns, you will pay by card, 3 crowns is going to the card company. But some of these 3 crowns is actually coming from state budget as to support the students. So the state cannot support the external, let's say, financial part. Working must be inside the university. I think that's the main problem. But actually, this is a nice thing because we have something like the permanent credit. Yes. If you pay by you are paying by the university card. And we as the professor, the employee, and you're not going to charge them. It's like a credit system. So you're paying when you pay whatever, and then the next month, in the next month's salary, they will take it from the without any, of course, without any additional cost.
You know, if that is
every month, it's actually every month, and I guess okay, this month there was a little and I always on my Facebook, always do that. And on the Facebook, you see your salary for one, and you can then how much is paid to a cafeteria, and then sometimes they can also this month was really 2 months.
So you were conducting interviews with political
But lunch is in the time which
one.
It will be one.
They pick up the phone because they're starting to serve the lunches.
This meeting.
This will be good there, but it will be one. It could be even if they will come there. The reservation is for 1:30.
And then will come in one with all this processes.
Sorry. Which was it? The complicated thing. Cappuccino, from one less water and this was. Yeah. Oh, very tasty, but I shouldn't have.
Because
I already had some cake in the breakfast.
So I also big too much sugar. But it was
It was different project? So
okay.
what time you must tonight? 8:30. Okay. And the able to sleep from 10 to 4 of the number of the 4 I come to Frankfurt, written oral and have 1 hour there before, and then 2 after the panel. So you have to, yeah, stop. I'm taking the bus. It's not a direct bus.
It's with bus. With bus.
Yes, which bus?
I don't know which bus will be.
No direct. Yes. No, maybe I don't know. But I pulled next for the bus station or the train station. But I can't see the train. I know it's your way there for a whole set.
Actually, just not about terminal.
Yeah, I know.
It's wrong.
I saw it. It's like,
so they have to
but it is really nice.
I'm not inviting Bernard next day. That's
so cities, one of the things that really more people and one of the story. So we had need to come up with one practical solution we also work.
That's why they put that.
It used to be a German university, and it was not too big. Around 200.
How much time?
So now Brno is something like, I don't know, 500,000 more.
It's like the biggest.
Yeah, I think maybe it's even more than.
Yeah,
when you go out, people can.
Yeah.
People from the locals and different regions, different parts.
Next spring.
Roma, where you put inside, then there was a huge, there are still a lot of yeah, because in Czechoslovakia, and there is still there Czech now, with having this Greek name. But there was quite a big minority of the Greeks when the fascist junta started, so there was a civil war after the 1950s. After the Second World War, there was a civil war between the fascists and the communists. And the communists accepted we have even Greece, Ostrava, Krnov, these northern parts. For example, the most famous Czech beverage company, is like you have Kokta in Slovenia and Croatia, Kokta, and here it's Kopola.
It's actually very widespread, everybody knows it, it's tapped, it's in the photos. And then even developed, so they now, the company, they have a lot of flavors, but they also, they use also like a mineral water, it's the biggest beverage. And then the owners agree, it's compared. And I think that, you know, how for the inhabitants, there are a lot of small people, you know, one of the, and in the Brno, there was this field, one big real district of Greece.
I know about the Ostro.
Yeah, because it was the free, the empty place. And how it after Germany. I had also come.
My daughter is in Greece.
This is also good to get.
We went to see
And they are very proud. They are very proud. So they are, even though they, some of them are not even speaking Greek anymore. Also many most of the young generation, they are still having Greek names. Not only surnames, but even given names. Always trying to find something with the Greek, with the Greek origin, like so they have.
So I started this. So it's yeah, and then
because there are. Because something will need to be there is a views in the Portugal I know that because
every time I go to here, she drives to different places because she doesn't know the people. So sometimes
I will deal it in the coming days. Because today I was
I think I'll just get it about and I think otherwise I'll just have it with money. But in case I'm wrong, I will contact you. But I think this is the yes. So I've been after the review panel. Here at the back. I have more than but see though. You can think, yeah, I will I think and you bring them this and bring them. How long will you drive? 3 hours, 3 hours more. Yeah, no, this is they're going right. You're staying here.
Tomorrow to.
Is it? Yeah. Especially if you want to like go from. Now, how's the new hotel? Better.
It's not better, but it's not having. Yeah,
I think you will see that more and more people don't use to use so much speaking that for example. So No, it is good. You have
It's quite
Katowice and Krakow.
But anyway, we all lights with it.
There's so many fun. Another one. It's so cheap to leave the car there. So.
Yeah, the other hotel, our hotel, it's my bedroom. It's huge. It's
When I go to Vienna, you never know what
when you come in, it looks so convenient and nice. I was like,
So
oh,
you'll never be sure
huge
that
bed.
you catch the.
But then you realize when you go to shower that A, it's cold because it's so big and I heat it up. B, once you start to shower, I mean, the whole bathroom was wet because there were no like curtains. So it looks nice. It's really designed and design looks nice, but it's not inconvenient.
Yes. That's how I call it, it's not practical.
We had the same similar situation in our.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a huge bathroom. Yes, with a bathtub in the middle with absolutely nothing, no curtains, nothing.
Yeah.
But I also have a separate shower. Do you not have a shower?
No, I just had a shower. It's a huge room.
Yes,
There's
and
the shower.
sexual feet.
So that's it.
You have a bathtub.
No, I actually have a bathroom.
So I have a bathtub and a shower. You know, at home. Yeah.
And then it's just no furniture, so I had to go to
So
I
well, I
think
yeah, so if I were to take a bath there, the first time I'll be like, wow, it's very, I mean, design wise, aesthetics is better, but practically it's.
And outside,
Yeah.
Yeah, the coffee machine doesn't work.
Very nice. The rooms are very nice. Yeah, but yeah, not very practical. Yeah, I went to coffee.
But it's so nice. I like coffee. It's talking and
Well, I think it would, I mean, if it was just the taste and the drink, I'd probably have like 8 to 10 coffees a day, but then, you know, it affects your quality of sleep. So I try to keep it to 2 or 3 in the morning and then that's it. 2 to 3 in the morning and then after that. All day. All day.
I buy a day coffee. No, I only had coffee in the morning. Because when I was younger, I could drink as much coffee as I wanted to, and then just sleep right afterwards. But now I not anymore. I just if I drink it during the day, in the evening, I'll be old. Okay, I could do that.
I did before, I would do the same, but not anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now I drink tea a lot. Green tea or black tea, and it does not have such an effect.
Well, it has less caffeine, obviously. Yeah. I mean, you can also find decaffeinated tea, which has
Most of them are so artificial. I think.
Well, no, decaffeinated coffee is not very healthy either, and it has,
Isn't it?
no, not at all. Because the trick setting, it's not supposed to be good for you, and also it's only about 60% of the coffee. The caffeine is decaffeinated, so you still have 30%, you know, caffeine that you would get from a regular. So if you have 3 decaffeinated coffee, it's like having 1 regular coffee.
I don't know. There's so many things I just cannot do anymore. It's I cannot do this, that, and this. I cannot do. You cannot never do it. So many things I like to do. I just cannot. I wanted to like illegal decaf. So I think some things you just have to do, even though they are healthy.
Yes, because I mean, the fact that you enjoy them, is what, I mean, even if they're not very good, you know, health-wise, I think they're good in the end, health-wise, because you enjoy them.
Yes, I think so. So there you go.
I'm gluten intolerant, so I don't eat any gluten, I don't eat sugar. Because, and then I think I say to myself, well, there's so many things that I've deprived of, so yeah. For the rest, I'm going to sort of not limit myself too much. Because, you know, you have to, at the end of the day,
Everything's such a high risk.
Also, very good when doctors say that unless you butter your body. Yeah, that's the only thing I have to stay away from butter.
Butter.
Because it's saturated fat. I think it's saturated. Too much saturated fat. It's not. And that's pretty much the only thing that's like. Brilliant. Well, I there's a lot of actually consultants are involved in this you'll feel the best. There's a lot of sort of information out there about scientific research. Things that research shows that just on the news, but that's actually not scientific research. It's some people saying on the news. Just because it's
some scientific research is very content related.
Research and the results are not proven according to scientific methods. So anything, I mean, you could say that people, you know, off the street, and you've asked them maybe they feel better when they want
what would be from all the work still here, including the capacity.
It's to expect information.
Let's try to move on.
Okay, we'll move on.
30 people, 30 women, let's try to move on.
We'll move on, and then would I also plan that after our session, before we'll go for a lunch, we'll make a group picture, because we don't have a group picture, so we'll go from
yeah, we do.
Yeah, but before the faculty, just to make a horrible photo, because then we will go to lunch, and after in a lunch I will just quickly, maybe I will have only soup and leave, because at 2 o'clock I need to pick up my daughter at the school for a horse driving. She is driving horse company, just for this. So let's start. The last part for the meeting is what David proposed is an informal debate discussion about the options of the further projects. So I think it's interesting for all of us. For me, as David said, this network is a super base for any other future, not even future in a far future, but in the coming applications for the projects. So that's good opportunities.
Yes, what we spoke about. We have already the network done. We will start knowing each other better. So let's use what we have for the funding and for the work. The first thing, I mean, I have 3 things in mind. But this is all open to debate and open to suggestions. If you have any other idea, just very welcome, please. I mean, as many ideas we have, the best. But what I have in mind specifically is first to have this cost this European Cooperation Science Technology. This is also funding networks somehow. So European networks, we have Zainab that she was an evaluator for this project, so she knows very well, much better than me. I have applied once and we didn't succeed, but it was a few years ago. And I think it really match what we are doing here. Will be just expand what we are doing here for the whole society instead of just focusing on European Union. But it will be something related with the digitalization of society. So this is the idea I have in my head. I insist, this is just a debate or an open floor. You have any other better idea, you're very welcome. Okay, just to debate and speak about it. So first I would like to hear, please, if you can just speak a little about cost.
So basically, cost action, as I mentioned yesterday, I was in a review panel for 2 years from Turkey, and then I was, ever since then, so for the past maybe 7 years, I've been evaluating applications, so I've been working as an evaluator. They usually send me sort of political science, legal applications, which have a much lower chance of getting a grant, then because the thing about cost is that there's no sort of quota for social sciences, so all gets thrown into the same pool, and obviously they get evaluated by experts in the field, but it depends very much on the number of points that you get. So social sciences have a sort of unfortunately have a much sort of low chance, because science, sort of natural sciences and engineering, tend to grade much higher than social sciences. This is something that they discuss a lot in cost. But so cost is an action for funding networks, and it's not about doing the research itself. It's about creating a network of people who've been doing the research on the same topic. So it would fit perfectly into what we're doing, because this network, for instance, is built of people who have been working on a particular topic. This will fund the research, and then after that, with cost, what you can do is fund a network. And what can we do in the network? You can basically, for instance, get funding for setting up a database of the research that you've been doing, for setting up exchange of staff, of students, of sort of junior faculty. So that's one thing that you can sort of, the institutions can have exchange of academic staff or students, graduate students, obviously. Also, you can get funding for the events. So you can, not just one of these things, but the networks would be expected to do some or all of these things. So you could say and also sort of increase the impact and dissemination of the research that you've already done, like your publications, to make sure that your publications are more visible, and use events for that, use any other tool that you can think of, like a database, or so these are the examples that come to my mind from what I've evaluated. From I also have I've also kept some very successful applications. So they actually look at the added value of the network. So what you have to prove is that once you get the action, the grant from the action, there will be an added value to your research. So basically, you have to make sure that the network brings your researcher to the next level, in a way, and use the grant, the network, to sort of improve the impact of your research, and to sort of raise awareness as well. So you would have to identify stakeholders, public or private, doesn't matter, and increase interaction with relevant stakeholders. So that's another thing you can do through events or through databases or through any kind of networking activities. So to sort of reach out to a wider public through the action. That's the sort of thing that they look for. So the moment we feel that we've reached a certain level in terms of research that we've either been separately doing or doing through this network, I think we can think of applying for a cost action, because once you get to a level where you say, well, we've got enough to actually then build on through the network, I think it could be a very successful application, because one of the first thing that they ask us to evaluate is the timeliness of the topic of the network. And digitalization, I think, will be timely for the next couple of years. It certainly is very timely now. I'm sure that in all of your applications for Jean Monnet actions, they said that digitalization is a timely topic. So that's always, you know, something that gets you a high score. And that would definitely be also relevant for cost action. And they also believe that there's this sort of idea that cost action is something that will then lead to greater research. So higher sort of like horizon applications, for instance. So it's actually a way of building teams to then apply for larger sort of research grants. So the idea is they tell you then, they don't necessarily tell you that directly, but they expect to see something that would tell them that if you use this network well, and if you use the fund well, you can then apply for greater grants like Horizon or, you know, other sort of EU grants. Yeah, so that's another thing. So really taking the research up to the next level, taking the network, the team up to the next level, and then that sort of bringing in better opportunities, greater opportunities for research. That's the sort of idea.
Thank you. Main idea related with this topic is to apply in the October 2024. So we already have the deadline for October 2024. We will start building the team, I guess, around January, February. Application itself, for me, it seems very complicated because it's very small in the sense that it's like 15 pages or something like that.
It's very short, yes.
So you have to be very concentrated on the, go directly to the topic. So
I think there's 7 sections altogether on which you're evaluated. And, you know, you have to prove the timeliness, the state of the art, the added value of the network, and the sort of working groups, and that's it.
So basically the idea is that we will send you an invitation. I mean, if you want to participate in the application, we will try to divide these small parts among the different partners, trying to fit with your expertise. And after we will, in Tallinn, we will oversee the whole application, try to make it, coherent in the sense that it's not just separate parts like Frankenstein style, but to give it a real common perspective. I think it's worth it to try. More or less what I was saying is like a 1 million euros budget, something like that, for 4 years project. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Sorry, you know much more about that. But
and also, just one thing perhaps, in the application, the things that actually are in favor of the group would be to have male, female sort of.
Yeah, I was going to that point right now.
And also that the cost cares very much more than other sort of applications about early career research.
Yeah.
So,
the point
it's very good to have, you know, people who are in the first sort of 3-4 years of their sort of career, and they put a lot of emphasis on early career research. So when you're building up the team, keep in mind that you'd have to put forward people who are in their sort of first few years of research.
Yeah, this is very important. What is gender equality? We will have to focus on that. I mean, we will have a responsible of each partner, and this responsible person of each partner will have to make their own team, let's say, from this partner. So what you will have to do is to take into consideration gender and early researchers. What she said is very important. Okay, it's not just about putting the most brilliant people you have in your universities in the application, but to include you as part of this network and the early researchers that we are going to provide these people with our expertise in the network, and they will expand their career and increase the impact. This is the idea of the whole cost. No, more or less.
Absolutely.
Once we also tried in some consortium the coast, I think it is also somehow connected to Taltech. But it's not clear for me. It's the sort of the partners in the coast network. Whether it really can be a purely academic network, like the university. So what's something like average or some experience with that? Are there more like the application partners, this transfer of technology, or firms, or the public authorities, or it's rather more like an academic operation?
Actually, most of the applications that I've looked at, that I've evaluated, were purely academic. What they want you to do is involve non-academic stakeholders in the network. And again, the most important, I mean, they do look at the sort of gender distribution, but the most important thing is for early career researchers to be in there. So if you have a team built of none but, academics, if you manage to get involved in the network, if you also sort of convince them that you have identified all the right stakeholders and you will involve them in the network, you will have something that sort of makes them sort of engaged and active in the network. That's enough, as long as you also you have a good number of early career researchers involved in the network, and you're also doing something for them. So basically, they actually want, for instance, if you're doing an exchange of staff, it should not be at all for the sort of the senior researchers, but the senior researchers should actually be establishing an exchange of staff for the early career researchers. So not just to have them in the network, but also to make sure that the network has at least one component which is only for early career researchers, and you're doing something only for them to make sure that is advancing their career. So you can have, if you have identified the right stakeholders and you involve them, and if you have something which is some solid component for early career researchers, you don't have to have in the network any institution that's not a university. So they don't have a rule for that, and they don't ask the evaluators to look at whether, we don't even know as evaluators, we don't even know who the institutions are. So it's very different from other European grant applications. So we don't actually see the people. And in fact, they ask us if we can identify from the application who has applied. So there should be nothing in the application that can make me sort of make an educated guess as to who are the applicants. So that's completely blind. And they tell us, number of institutions. They tell us something about the information that we get is number of institutions, more or less distribution of countries. So geographical distribution, again, like any European sort of application would be good. And you have to have a certain number of cost countries. So you can actually have within cost, countries from Africa or whatever, and unless there are rules against sort of involving them. But you have to secure a number of cost contributing countries. And so you don't know who the applicants are, which institutions they're from. And I think they tell us whether it's research institutions, but they didn't even tell us whether it's universities. So we don't even know if it's universities or not when we're evaluating. It's about identifying the relevant stakeholders and making sure that early career researchers are sort of an important focus in the group. So it's fine not to have any sort of private public stakeholders which are not universities.
We were speaking before between 10 and 15 partners.
Yes.
It will be in this application, of course. So more or less we cover it with the network. If someone has an extra wonderful additional partner, we are welcome until we reach 15 members of the partners for the application. Then the stakeholders, I think we could also use the network. We are going to have this stakeholders somehow, this relation with the implementation of the practical suggestions. I mean, from us in Tallinn, we already have the partner, so it's perfect. I can already include the stakeholder from Tallinn in this application. all of you, at some point you have to find some stakeholder also. So the idea is to use this work we are doing for more things. And I think this cost is a nice opportunity. What I have written here in the funding is, I mean, I was in one cost action myself as a partner. I did not do the application. I did one application and didn't succeed. But then I was in another one as partner, and basically what we did is big events. And there are a lot of mobility of early researchers. Okay? So, but we really had big, huge events. Like we are now here in the Spanish was bringing a lot of people, and we had like big things in that sense. So it will give us a lot of visibility also, which I think is good for the careers of all of us and for our work. We are working for something. No, we want people to know what we are doing. This is good in that sense. There's short-term scientific missions. There is also a possibility to use part of the budget for communication activities and virtual network tools, which is also interesting. That will increase our visibility. I'm just trying to focus on that aspect. And finally, that is, I don't know so much what it means, but we will find out, and hopefully it will help us training schools. So I don't know exactly what they mean by training schools, but it's included in the application.
So it's generally, as far as I remember, they to have training schools for graduate students or for stakeholders. So you have 1 or 2 day sort of schools each. I mean, you can have it in several different institutions, therefore in several different countries. And they expect you to sort of disseminate the findings of your research through these training schools and raise awareness. So raising awareness is a very important sort of element. So, for instance, if you raise awareness about misinformation that you get in the media, in digital platforms, you get training schools for, you can do training schools for the relevant stakeholders who then, based on the training that they get, can do trainings of their own with the wider public, for instance. So you can aim for something like that.
Okay. In my opinion, it's something worth to try. For me, it's really challenging to put all of this in 15 pages. I don't know how to do it, really, but we will learn. We will try to improve.
I mean, I shouldn't, but I shouldn't have. But I had kept, some successful applications, and I can sort of erase the names, and then you can see sort of.
This I do it also with the police. National agency. I keep the successful applications. It always gives you ideas, and it's like interesting. And of course, no copy paste, but it gives you like some ideas.
Well, I mean, I think it's fine because they have been successful. They have been funded. So if you go to their website, you already know what
it's true. You want to website.
So the only thing I do is look at the application and sort of try to figure out what they had said to begin with to get funded. So I think technically it's not that bad.
I know I do evaluation for self program. EU Commission, and but we do sign an agreement that in the period of 3 months we will destroy all the proposals. So yeah, you shouldn't. You should also for evaluation on national level. It is not meant to keep the proposals. You as an evaluator, you should erase them and destroy them and not keep them.
I have been
the contracts.
Being evaluator for European Commission also for projects at the Horizon, and I don't remember exactly this. Nobody told me that.
No, but it's
okay. Maybe I didn't read the small part of the. Okay. So anyway, this idea, we will contact you soon. I mean, in a few months. Let's try to build the team and let's try to apply for October 2024. You will have to agree. You will have to make your own team, and especially taking into consideration what he says. There's gender equality and the early researchers. Then we will divide the application in different parts, and then you will have to do not a lot, because I insist it's just 15 pages, so it's like a small application, but it's very complicated, in my opinion, to put all the information in just such a short part. Hopefully, all of us want to participate. If not, we will find for additional partners. Okay, I insist we need to have around between 10 and 15 partners. If you have any additional partner that you think it would be wonderful or a great addition in the sense that it's going to provide us with the big expertise, or they have like big, I mean, we have Bologna, for example, it's like Bologna is always nice. Just say it. Okay, we are open so far until we reach 15 members. I insist, Victoria will send you all the email in January, February. So I think we have plenty of time from that to October to finish with the application. Okay. So then we move to the next idea that we were thinking about, the doctoral network of Marie Curie. We have a good topic for that, I think, and we have a so interdisciplinary approach that we can provide for different courses, different ideas for providing education for students to have this common approach on digitalization. Because I think we have law, we have politics, we have some economy, we have ethics, we have marketing, we have different things. So I think we have the expertise for that doctoral network. I have never applied for this doctoral network, so I'm not really so good on that. But just checking about the topic, I thought that it really fits our composition and expertise. So basically what I found is like industrial doctorates or the trained PhD candidates that they will wish to develop their skills and they go outside of the academia, especially in industry and business. So our focusing, we try that will be digitalization of these startups and all these areas. In Estonia, we have plenty of them. Okay? This I see more complicated, but I see more possible, but at the same time more difficult to implement because of our internal rules in our own universities is joint doctorates. It's possible. Not that difficult.
I mean, we have actually, I've been through this. I'm actually in this process.
Okay.
And there's one colleague in our faculty that actually has already got this, so they are advanced in this process. There's always the possibility that the agreement. In the agreement, the doctoral student meets the requirements of both universities. It makes the doctorate more demanding, but it's easier then actually than not set up the additional third path for this for capital, but fulfilling both requirements from both institutions, and then it has much more chance of success of signing an agreement.
Yeah, which is in fact the multiple degree of the joint degree. So the question how strict they are in the interpretation of what the joint degree is. The joint degrees are problems. Actually, this is something the European Union is not even something thinking about in detail, because they just created the outcome calling joint degrees, but we have decentralized the school systems with their own accreditation. So it's very hard to have a one degree on universities, but these double degrees or multiple degrees is something we should think about, and maybe it is also coverable by the Marie Curie election. And this would be, of course, a great opportunity. Okay, Federico.
Thank you, Federico.
Thank you.
So anyway, yeah, I insist. I just thought that the idea fits with that. The application would be. Deadline for next year is November next year, something like that. So we still have plenty of time. I mean, in my opinion, we focus more on this cost, but we can also try this alternative approach and maybe see first year, then applying again next year with the comments and so on. So like not being so focused on that, but making the application. The same, we will try to make up the idea. We'll contact all of you. Now I will contact you very much with this because you have some expertise on that, but you know a little more than me. So we can try to build something together and then present it to the network. The same with Costa, with Josie. I mean, we will use each other like in that sense. And I think we can try to do that. This is 5 years project. 5 years for joint doctorate projects, the fellowships between 3 and 16 months. So I think it's interesting, and I think it fits with our expertise in this network. Okay. You make me more calm with this, because I was thinking it was going to be a nightmare to make these joint doctorates. But if it's possible to do it in that way, as you said, that they just sign an agreement that they fulfill the requirements. So just an idea, you know, I'm not so much, don't know so much about this, but we will work on it, and we will present the idea to the whole network, and let's try to build an application together. I mean, those interested in that, okay? I will send all this information that I have of these networks. I mean, Victoria will send it to Victoria, and Victoria will send it to with all of you, okay? I mean, not to read you all the expected outcomes, blah, 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 blah. But you will know. Then the third application I'm really thinking about that is this Marie Curie, this staff exchanges. In that, I have been already in one application that was successful. We had to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Andre was part of it.
I've never been to Cambodia because I was just participating from Europe on this project, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it was a nice project. It's very simple. It's in the sense that it's just to have this staff exchange with partners in the other parts of the world. And not so much complications. You just go there with your expertise, you teach, you make a seminar, you come back. That's it. Okay, you bring people from there, you make them a seminar. The focus this year, that in this application you are, in this year we are in the reserve list in one of these staff mobilities. Let's see if we get it or not. I was contacting the European Commission, and they said that probably before December they will let us know. So we are in the with Andre, we are in the project that we presented with digital market and South America, Mercosur, European Union. So we have University of Valladolid, that Ricardo is sick, not here. So, we have Andre, we have Italian, we have universities from Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay. So we already made a nice application. I think we got the approved without funding, which is nothing, but it's like almost. And we are in the reserve list, and they will let us know before December. Why I tell you that is because we already know how to do it. Okay, we have got already one application that was approved. We have this other application that we did now, I mean last year, and it's now in the reserve list. So we know how to do it. And I think it's very possible to try to apply to this staff exchange again for next year. Focus digitalization and Africa. One of the priorities of the European Commission now is Africa. I have all the partners already in Africa. So we don't need to find the partners in Africa. I have it has to be this week. An application, a project application that we made about the digitalization in Africa with Erasmus Plus. That is like 500,000 project, so it's a smaller project that is exchanges. And the result has to be this week. I have been checking every day, like obsessed. Where is the results? I want the result already. So I'm very optimistic about that. But anyway, the main point of this application that I'm also speaking with you about is that we already have the partners in Africa. And we have the Pretoria University, this is a good university in South Africa. We have partners in Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, and the main countries that are included in the European Commission as main targets in Africa. So we already have that. We already have the expertise on digitalization. So let's combine that. So application is not so complicated. I will take care of the majority of the application because I already have done it twice. So this, I know much more about that than our cost of for the doctoral, the joint doctorate. So I really will take care of this application. I will ask you for the information and so on. Let's see how many partners are interested, because you have to have the capacity to send people to Africa. Okay, so this is the main point. This exchange is not just that you get in the project or to do research. It's more like physical mobilities. Go to Africa, have a connection with the students, with the staff, Okay, for example, in Cambodia, I was teaching to the professors in the University of Cambodia because they don't know what is Scopus, what is Thomson Reuters, and this kind of things that we are already in this matrix that we have to have all these numbers. So one of my duties in Cambodia was that. So it's not just relation with the students. Okay, so it's like digitalization from the European perspective, digitalization of the society, what will bring, I mean, I already have everything in my head. What it will bring to these African countries with less corruption, more efficient management. We want to promote the gender equality with this digitalization, that it will be less barriers for women to access to these services. So really, this I have quite a lot in my head. So this will be to apply next year also. Again, like these three applications, around January, February, we will contact all of you. We will ask if you are interested to participate. And in this specific one, I will ask you if you have the capacity to send people. Because we will have a lot of secondments. So we will have to send people to these African countries. So it's not interested to have a partner that is going to be just you. Alexandra is going to go to all the African countries and nobody else from Poland. So this is not interested for these kind of applications. Okay, we can have if you think that you cannot provide with this number of people, researchers involved, scholars involved in this project, we can add you as a member of one of the other partners. Okay, so for example, I in Tallinn, I can have you. Mateja cannot bring 20 people for this project, but I can bring her to Tallinn. Okay, so this is very important for this kind of application. They just open it now, the application in October. This was for February 2024, so too little time for us. Okay? I was thinking that better we apply for February 2025. So a little bit more than a year time. But I think it's, I mean, maybe it will be too short to try to apply now. They just opened the call right now. Okay. So I think it's wiser. I mean, we still have many things to do. We are very busy people, all of us. So I think if we take this things little by little, not so much stress. So then is what I was thinking, 2025 February. So we will start with the application around September of the next year. Okay, we will send you the invitation in January, February, as we spoke before, but we will start with the real application in February. And that's all I have in my mind for the further work of this network. Okay, thinking about not just the network itself, but what we can use the network for in other projects. But I'm sure all of you will have other ideas. Just please think and share. It will be wonderful to use what we have. Because we already have the network, existing network. We have very nice people with a very different expertise. Most Jamonet professors of the Jamonet model or Center of Excellence. So it's like we have this expertise, we have this, let's say, presence. So let's use it. We have the topic. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I don't have anything else to add. Thank you all of you for coming to the meeting. Thank you for the people that is online on the meeting. Thank you for the people that already left. And that's all. Let's start with the network, our work, further applications, new ideas, everything. Okay?
Okay, thank you to all on behalf of Olomouc. It was a pleasure of having all of you here, and also greetings to those who are online. And it will be really a big challenge, but also a big fun to cooperate for the next 3 years, not only this project, but also other project applications, spreading our network even to Africa or South America or somewhere else, or going not just widening it, but deepening it inside of the network. It would be super fun. So thank you. Let me thank to David, because he was the one, like the father and the mother of our network, putting all together. So thank you. Let's thank to David, and see you soon on some other nice events. So thank you very much for having you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I've been at us and see you in person.
Thank you. Looking forward to meeting you in person. Bye-bye.
So now just give an applause to all of us. And
we are recording all of this, so we know when it's something. And you will receive the record, but before it, maybe it will take some time.
Yeah.
Because we need to cut it really in some today's something like professional level, not really using some film, but movie studios, but we need to cut all the breaks because it was running all the time. So we'll just cut the working part and not having a 10 hours of record of having copies. So yeah, we will cut it and so then it will be somehow sent to David and to put into records of the project and even distribute it for all of you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, now we move for lunch. It's back to like sitting eating for this actually.
Yeah, sitting eating.
But yeah.
First, there's something for your journey back.
Yeah, but all of you, yeah. So whoever, just take something.
I'll start here.
Yeah. Because there is only lunch somewhere during the lunch. I will leave or I will run to secure my private stuff to be also the father and mother. We will come back with Blanca, and then the afternoon is just